Hello everyone, Tommy with Studio Sense here. I really appreciate you stopping by. If you were interested in the theme or the title or the thumbnail, whatever brought you here, we're going to be talking about fragrances that are by now very popular. So you've probably heard of all of these, but I may be introducing you into at least one or two or three or maybe more that you haven't heard of. So this is a great video to get started in fragrance. If you are just beginning on what many people in the fragrance community call your fragrance journey. If you're just getting started and you kind of want to know what's out there, what a lot of people like to buy for their husband or their boyfriend or their mate or partner, these fragrances are perfect because everybody pretty much, to a man, to a woman, really likes them, really enjoys them. So grab a pen and pencil, piece of paper, or if you got a good memory, good for you, because when we come back, we're going to dig into it. Welcome back everyone. Today is a list video where we're going to detail 10 fragrances that are what I call no-brainer fragrances. Ones that are quick, easy grabs. You don't even have to think about whether or not you'll like it or not, usually in most cases, because so many people have backed these up. So many fragrance reviewers on YouTube have said these are great. Of course, I don't need to say this disclaimer in every video, but the fragrance industry as a whole is a very subjective industry because people have their opinions based on their previous experience and their thought process and cognitive abilities and all of that we won't go into. But these fragrances, generally speaking as a whole, are pretty well loved by not only the niche and growing fragrance community here, but people, the populace in general. So let's jump into our list here. The first one we're going to talk about in no particular order is a Giorgio Armani fragrance. Giorgio Armani makes some what I call heavy hitters, and this one I feel like is still becoming a heavy hitter. It is Armani Code Parfum. They really did right by the Armani Code DNA. Just a very fresh, clean, mature take on the Armani Code DNA. They take the note of bergamot and they stretch it so that it lasts the life of the fragrance. It's a lightly dry fragrance, a lightly elegant fragrance that is great whether you wear it casually or even dressed up. And that kind of hyper versatility is owing to why this is growing in popularity. Armani Code Parfum. Next is a fragrance that by now doesn't really need an introduction, but it's a good refresher to go over why it's so popular. It's the penultimate version in my book of the Versace Eros DNA or scent profile. It is Eros the Parfum edition. This particular version leans heavily on the tonka, the vanilla, so it's a little bit cooler weather friendly than previous iterations, but that doesn't mean it's not versatile and you can't wear it on any occasion, because you definitely can. It's a very long-lasting, masculine, seductive version of the Eros DNA. Highly recommended, no-brainer. Eros Parfum. Emporio Armani, a subsidiary of Giorgio Armani, has come out with an incredible line, and every version is just either better than the last or as good as. But this particular one I keep going back to. It is stronger with you, absolutely. As you can see, I've used quite a bit of it. This is a fantastic gourmand fragrance. Now, to introduce you to what gourmand is like a foodie, edible dessert, sweet, most often sweet fragrance, a little bit heavier. It's usually spicy oriental or better for cooler weather. This is probably one of the best in the line. I know there's the oud version, the amber version, which are both fantastic in and of themselves, but absolutely contains the best of that glazed chestnut sweet toffee DNA that everyone loves so much. I think is best utilized in Stronger With You, absolutely. This particular fragrance has gotten a tremendous amount of airtime, so we're going to give it a little bit of hang time today just to reemphasize why it's so popular, and that is Bleu de Chanel by Chanel. We're often called BDC. Now this is the Eau de Parfum, the EDP version. The original was an Eau de Toilette. They went to the Eau de Parfum, and there is a Parfum version. I'm just gonna say up front, without being too controversial, it doesn't really matter which version you own, you're getting really good fragrance. A lot of people say the EDP, some say the Parfum. Really, it's up to you what you like best. The primary difference is how long it lasts and a modicum of scent profile difference in each version. Sticking with the kind of the middle of the road, or splitting your difference down the middle, the EDP is a great version of Bleu de Chanel. It is a unique, aquatic, fresh version of a man's fragrance that is supremely sexy as much as it is office friendly. The many faces of BDC, let me just tell you, if you are starting out in fragrance, it is a bit more expensive, hard to find a discounted rate, because that's just how Chanel works, because they know they've made an incredible fragrance. Definitely a must own. Another aquatic that is making waves, see what I did there, is a fragrance by Prada. It is Prada Ocean, the EDP. Or the original was an eau de toilette. As is often the case with EDPs, they've taken the original Ocean, matured it up, refined it even more, just made it even more relevant, and that's why I enjoy the EDP. It is a light leather aquatic fragrance. Marrying those two different notes together, it's not an easy task, but I think they did it successfully in this one, and that's why, in my estimation, it's a must own, or at least a must try. Who doesn't like a good shot of whiskey first thing in the morning to get you going? If you feel that way, then you'll probably really like this fragrance. If you don't like alcohol, that's okay. You'll probably love this fragrance anyway, because so many things about it are attractive, and that is Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. This one is a warm, nutty, boozy fragrance that is extremely alluring. Women love smelling this on men. My wife loves this fragrance, and it's also very long lasting. A lot of boozy fragrances don't really have that great of performance. This one performs really well. Definitely a must own in my book, or a must try. Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. I want to see a show of hands. Who's tired of going to YouTube and going to a fragrance reviewer and clicking on a review of a YSL fragrance? Show of hands? Nobody? Well, maybe you're out there raising your hand, but most people aren't going to feel that way because it's super popular for a reason. So if you're just now getting started in fragrance, you can't do much better than YSL Y Eau de Parfum Intense, the newest iteration of the Y DNA. There might be something newer now, depending upon when you're watching this video, but right now, as of November 2023, this is the newest version. It's one of the better simply because it outperforms most of the others. It's got a really great wake. In other words, when you're wearing this and you walk by somebody, they're going to catch that. Performance is on average about 7 to 8 hours for this one. It carries that whole masculine, fruity, aldehydic DNA supremely well. Yves Saint Laurent's Y Eau de Parfum Intense. I call this next fragrance a no-brainer. It's gotten plenty of accolades. It's not been on the market for super long, and that's always a good sign when a fragrance gets that much attention when it's relatively young. The House Hermès, it is Terre d'Hermès Au Givre. Au Givre is a citron bomb. Citron is a kind of a version of a very fresh, fruity, lemon type fragrance note. Using that term hyper versatile means that basically you can wear something dressed up formally, and you can wear it just as well informally. You don't have to buy two separate fragrances for dress up and dress down. And especially keeps that very fresh, clean, lemony scent going on and on. The performance of this is really, really good. And so if you want a fresh, clean lemon scent, it's hard to do better than Terre d'Hermès Au Givre. Plus it has that Terre d'Hermès kind of light leather overtone in the background. Again, if you're just now getting started in men's fragrance, you'll discover that the note of iris has gone through all kinds of different changes over the last several years. 2022, 2023 is the year of iris. It's really hard to get a better iris-oriented fragrance than Christian Dior Homme Intense. Very clean, very fresh, and lightly woody iris scent. To me, it's like the epitome of masculinity. Many people rate it a 10 out of 10. I've done it before. It's just an excellently crafted fragrance and cologne, and one of the best you should either try or own if you can. Christian Dior Homme Intense. Well, the last one we're going to look at has been out for a while. Definitely grab it up if you can. Again, buy or try is my recommendation. It is a Salvatore Ferragamo fragrance that is very inexpensive. It is Uomo Signature. This is the fourth and final fragrance in the Uomo line and epitomizes the best of each one of them in this gourmand fragrance. This is the second gourmand fragrance we're talking about in this list. I always recommend having at least one or two gourmand fragrances to turn to when you need something a little bit heavier and a little bit sweeter. Now, this one is a leather coffee duo based fragrance that makes a fantastic fantastic wear, very long lasting, and it smells great to everyone smelling it on you. And that's why it's just an easy buy. Uomo Signature by Salvatore Ferragamo. Well guys, that's a very quick, short list of fragrances that are just a no-brainer, very easy. Try or buy, it doesn't matter, but at least you'll get the experience of wearing it, and it'll better kind of enable you to know what's out there and kind of help you guide your senses towards what you like and what you don't like, these 10 that we talked about today. If you already own them or you've already tried them, let everyone know what your thoughts are on all of these in the comments below. Or if there are other fragrances that you think belong in this list, let us know what your favorites are as well. Guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. As always, thank you so much for supporting me on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video review.